Hey guys, as we all know, 4 quarterbacks are taken in the first 2 rounds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each of them in the order they were picked. So Trubisky, then Mahomes, then Watson, and then Kaiser. And I'm just going to talk about what to expect in their rookie year, what their ceiling is, what their floor is. And no, I'm not going to compare them to other quarterbacks because that's just not fair to them. Alright, so let's start with Trubisky. What to expect from Trubisky? Well, I've seen one of 3 scenarios. He doesn't play at all, which I'm a little iffy on that because I know they said that, but how many times have we heard that? We heard that with Blaine Gabbert. We heard that with Ryan Tannehill. We heard that with Blake Bortles. And we heard that with Carson Wentz. It normally does not happen in today's NFL. It normally doesn't happen. So, is it going to happen this time? I don't know. I really don't. The second one, either Glennon falls off a cliff, as in he's just downright awful, or he gets hurt, and he has to come in and start over him. Or he just beats Glennon right off the bat. Now, which one's going to happen? I don't know. I really don't. It all depends on how Glennon performs. If Glennon shows that he can be a solid starting quarterback, he's going to be fine. Glennon's going to be fine, and you're not going to see Trubisky as much as maybe you should out of the number 2 overall pick. And what's his ceiling? His ceiling is an all-pro. You take a look at his highlights in college, and he's got all-pro potential. And what's his floor? It's the same thing as the other 3. He just doesn't pan out. Okay, that's everyone's floor. They just don't pan out because they all have their own issues they have to work out. With Trubisky, he hasn't started that much. With Mahomes, he's a gunslinger. With Watson, you're just a little concerned about the physical tools that he has. And with Kaiser, he just throws it all over the place. He's inconsistent. Alright, and on that note, let's go to Mahomes. And I want to talk about Alex Smith. And I know what you're thinking. I'm thinking, why Alex Smith? Well, Alex Smith is 33 years old. And he's still a solid quarterback in this league. He's probably still has a few years left. So you're probably not going to see Mahomes that often. You might only see him in garbage time or when Smith is hurt. So what to expect? Just expect him to learn. That's all. Just expect him to learn. And when he does get on the field, either if Smith is hurt or in garbage time, just see how he progresses. Because you take a look at his college film, he's a gunslinger. He needs to stop doing that. As in, he needs to learn when to throw and when to, well, just take off and run. Because he can do it. He can just take off and run. He's got to learn when to throw the ball, basically. He's got to learn when it's a good idea to throw it, because some of those throws that he made that were completed, those are interceptions in the NFL. It's about as simple as that. And what's his ceiling? Same thing as Trubisky, an all-pro, because he's got the tools. He's got the tools. Okay, Trubisky and him both have the tools to be all-pros in this league. Now let's move on to Watson. What to expect from him? Okay, I'm just messing with you. What to expect from Watson is to compete right away. That's what the Texans drafted him for. Brock Osweiler was one of the worst free agent signings I've seen in the past 5 years. Okay? One of the worst free agent signings I've seen. And that's saying something. So, really, he's going up against Tom Savage. And Tom Savage is an unproven quarterback. Taken 12th overall, you expect him to compete right away. Now, do you expect him to win right away? I don't know. But if he is not starting by week 5, I would be shocked. Because for all the things that the analysts are saying Watson's not, one thing he is a winner. And he knows how to put a team behind his back. Okay, I mean, on his back. Dang, I got that wrong. Yeah, he knows how to do that. It really, that trumps anything else. As long as he's solid with everything else, he's the starter. Because he knows how to lead and he knows how to win. And what is his ceiling? His ceiling is to be a solid starter. Have a few Pro Bowls, maybe an All-Pro season. That's what I see from him. Is that a bad thing? No. Because that's bringing stability to a quarterback, to a team, for a position that has not had stability for a while. Well, for the past few years. They did have it with Shaw, but then he fell off the edge of a cliff. So that's what I expect from him. I expect him to be a solid quarterback, to make Pro Bowls, make a few All-Pro teams. That's his ceiling. And I think he's got a better chance of reaching that than Trubisky and Mahomes do, because he knows what he's doing out there. And finally, Kaiser. What to expect from him? I don't know. This is an interesting case because you take a look at the stats. Cody Kessler wasn't too bad as the Browns starting quarterback. But Kaiser's got all this talent, and the Browns, they're starting to build a team. They are starting to become a little bit scary, in my opinion. You take a look at the first 3 picks that they made before Kaiser. And Kaiser, it's the same thing with Trubisky and Mahomes. He's got all the tools to be an All-Pro in this league. But he's inconsistent. He has to learn how to play with more consistency. And if he does that, that's an All-Pro right there. So that's his ceiling. And what do I expect from him? I expect from him to play in some capacity this year. I just expect to see him on the field at some point. And I don't know how, I don't know when, but that's what I'm expecting, because I just have this feeling about him that I'm going to see him on the field this year. So to recap, what to expect from each quarterback. Trubisky, like I said, one of 3 scenarios. Either he sits, he comes in if Glennon is hurt or is terrible, or he wins the job right away. For Mahomes, expect him to learn from Alex Smith this year. Expect that to happen. For Watson, expect him to compete right away. And like I said, this is my prediction. He will be the starter before week 5. That's my prediction. And Kaiser, at some point, he's going to play. Don't know how, don't know when, but I expect to see him on the field at some point. See you guys next time.